Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon E. We're here on 910 Sports, episode 33. Once again, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be here this Sunday morning to be able to do this episode. We keep rocking and rolling. Last week I was out. I was out in Vegas with my group Dove, as you can see in the background. The name of the logo in the background. So we was out in Vegas doing some performances, networking, getting it in or whatever. And I'm back this week. So I was out there last week. Trying to handle some business with them. So I'm back this week, man. So we're gonna get right into it. Basically, man, it's funny because last night somebody hit me up, somebody DM'd me last night, and they was talking about they was asking me why didn't I or others didn't give Kobe the same respect when it comes to on and off the court accolades as we do LeBron. And I told him, I said, well, me personally, let's make it clear. I'm not one of those people who, when somebody dies or something tragically or however they die, all of a sudden I'm going to make it seem like I'm there for a fan of them or I'm a fan of what they do or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Before Kobe passed away, I didn't think Kobe was top 5. After he passed away, I didn't think Kobe was top 5. Now, people who think Kobe is top 5, I don't begrudge them. I don't fight back. I don't push back. I get it. But for me, Kobe is not top 5, but he is maybe to others he's top 5. That's fine with me. When we start talking about GOAT conversations, I don't think Kobe is in the GOAT conversation. I think it's too many holes as far as if you start when they start doing LeBron and Jordan, then some of the same, I guess, discrepancies of LeBron and Jordan would be there for Kobe and Jordan, if you want to put it that way. So if you're going to have a standard or if you're going to have a something there that's going to that whatever your criteria for to be GOAT, then Kobe doesn't meet that no more than LeBron, if you put it that way. But it's other reasons. But and I think that the accomplishments of LeBron and Kobe, I think people get it screwed up and whatever. Because when I asked him about when he said that Kobe was a better player in everything than LeBron, I said, well, when you look at career stat line, what stat line is what's going on, man?
What's up, Icon?
I was here talking about the Kobe and LeBron because somebody hit me up, they DM me last night, and they said, why don't I put, or people don't put Kobe in the same, they don't talk about Kobe in the same way they talk about LeBron when it comes to GOAT. And I said, well, my thing is, I've never been that person who, because somebody dies, all of a sudden I'm going to act different, even in life. I'm not going to act like I like you or we're cool when you die. Yep. If you die, oh man, rest in peace, man. Sorry to hear that. Don't wish Jeff on nobody. But I'm not going to act different or act fake over something. So my thing is Kobe, before Kobe died, I didn't think he was top 5. After he died, I'm not going to put him in top 5. Now,
top 5 all time, or
yeah. Now, me and Jacob have this discussion all the time. Now, hear me out. I said, if somebody puts Kobe in their top 5, I don't begrudge it. I don't push back on it. I have no problem with it. Everybody has their own opinion. Now, when you start talking about GOAT conversation, now the thing I have with putting Kobe in the GOAT conversation, because of the same things you say, reason why LeBron is not the GOAT, you could find the same discrepancies in Kobe's career. You could find the same when you start talking about personal accolades, and if you talk about MVP, and if you start talking about missed opportunities, and you start talking about this, that, and the third, and Kobe wasn't even the best player on his team the whole time Shaq was there. Shaq was considered the best player on his team. So it's different reasons you could say the same thing. Because I tell people, the reason why I always battle for LeBron, because y'all keep moving the goalposts. This year, the man, people don't realize, if you looked at the Lakers record, LeBron had to score at least 35 points for them to win, to have a winning record. You know what I'm saying? The time or whatever. So he had to change his game this year, but everybody called it stat pattern. But if any other superstar in any other year would have done what he done, they would have been, oh, man, look at him putting the team on his back. But when it came to LeBron, he was stat pattern. Then this is another thing I tell people, and I thought about this last night, and I should have thought about this a long time ago, or a while back. You know, LeBron has had 2 seasons in his career where they've been shortened seasons. LeBron, the 2014, I think the first year, or 2012, the first year they won the championship, that was a some kind of strike year or whatever. They started a year later. If you look it up, they only played like 50-something, 60 games. The COVID year was a shortened year. Now, he's had 2 shortened years. His last couple of years have been injury plagued. 2.5 years have been injury plagued. And he's still on the cusp of breaking all these records and being top 10. But people keep calling him longevity records. Okay, so, and the fact that he's in year 19. Now, when people start talking about, I said, now look at it. I said, look, if you look at all the stat lines, and I looked this up a couple of weeks ago, stat line for stat line with Kobe and Jordan, or let's do Kobe. I ain't gonna throw Jordan in it right now. Let's just do Kobe. He's better in every career stat line than Kobe, even scoring. Even their whole career scoring, his scoring per game is better than Kobe's. Now, I told the guy, I said Kobe had a better mid-range jump shot. Yeah, the way his skill set, or I guess you're going to say the way he moved his feet, and he was more graceful with it, how he played the game. But just because you're more graceful than somebody how you play the game doesn't necessarily mean you're just a better player because you're more graceful. You know what I'm saying?
Like Kobe was a clone of MJ, like complete clone. Like he tried to mimic MJ from the move, him leaning back and the tongue out. I feel like he tried to mimic MJ game completely. Whereas if LeBron, completely different type of player, like you said. So yeah, I agree. I've looked at Kobe and put him in my top 10, but top 5, like all-time positionless, I don't think Kobe gonna make that list. You got some real guys up there. You start talking about Magic, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe. LeBron. There's some guys at KD that I would put above Kobe. So yeah, he wouldn't be in my top 5 either. If we just talk positionless.
And the crazy part about it is kills people. And I told my man, I said, it kills y'all. Y'all love LeBron haters. It kills y'all that he's this great in year 19. He's the greatest player in history in year 19. You know what I'm saying? It's not even close.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it. It's not even close as far as a player being in year 19 that has ever been as good as LeBron in year 19. It's not even, you can't name me one player that's even close as good as LeBron is right now. So and this is what I told the guy. I said, listen, I said the stuff that Kobe did off the court with the Mama Academy, I respect all of that. I actually have more respect for Kobe for what he started doing off the court when he started doing this poetry and he started doing different things off the documentaries and off that than I ever did him on the court. I was like, but the thing about it is Kobe didn't start doing a lot of that stuff until the end of his career, until beyond, because he kept saying that he kept telling me LeBron is selfish. And I said, how is LeBron selfish? And LeBron has tried to mentor more players. That's been his biggest downfall, or one of his biggest knocks, is that LeBron is too nice to other players. So
LeBron got everybody paid that played with him too. So I'm definitely not understanding how you call LeBron self. He's a pass first. He is probably the first ever pass first dominant player I've ever seen. Maybe besides because y'all watch Magic. I didn't watch Magic. But he's the first player that to me that will make the right play instead of just trying to make a play. He's going to always make the right play, whether it's kicking it to the corner, whether it is driving and finishing, setting up his teammate for the shot. LeBron has always made the right play. So I've never looked at it as him being a selfish player. Like I've never even considered LeBron a selfish player. And people to say, oh, he's chasing this record or he's stat packing. The man in year 19 averaging 30 points. I think if people just was hell-bent on saying we're not going to let LeBron do this, they still wouldn't be able to stop him, period, because it's just who he is and the way he plays. I don't think there'll never be another LeBron. I think people should just appreciate what we're looking at and instead of trying to always compare him and Jordan. I don't really like comparing eras. It's just me. I'm not really an era person. You can have more than one GOAT. This is my opinion. Because I feel
that's what I told him. I said, actually, the GOAT conversation is a fake conversation. I said, because if you think about it, none of these players can really ever played each other in their prime when you talk about those three players per se, or in meaningful games. Like even when Kobe and LeBron played against each other a few times, it wasn't really meaningful games. Everybody hoped they was going to get to the finals against each other. But when Jordan and Kobe played, Jordan was at the end. Kobe was just kind of like starting off. The only time people played each other in their meaningful games, if you start talking about people that maybe be in the GOAT conversation or top five, was Bird and Magic. Those was the only two that really played each other in that thing. So I said, really, a GOAT conversation is more barbershop talk. It's more sports talk, but it's not really a real conversation to really say. That's why I said, even if you look at the people we bring on here that come from, that actually play professional, most of them say, well, we break it down in generations. We don't really break it down eras. We don't break it down as like, they don't like to disrespect the era to say, oh, this player is better than this player because they never played each other. They break it down in eras. But that's just a conversation for us to have. So what's up, y'all? What's up, Jacob? What's up, Crystal?
Hey,
What up? Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Jacob the Great is in the building with this live barbershop talk, GOAT conversation, blah, 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 blah. Man.
And it's not really even a GOAT conversation. It was more of a conversation. It was more of a guy that somebody hit me up, DM me last night to say he feel like Kobe don't get enough respect as far as on and off the court and the stuff. And I said, well, the thing about it, I think the thing that hurt Kobe a lot is because the stuff that he started doing when we started hearing about the mentoring and all that came pretty much almost dang near when he died. Like most of these players weren't telling everybody that he was mentoring them like that until after he died. The analyst wasn't putting him in the GOAT conversation until he died. So it's like, it's not, huh?
And he still ain't in it.
That's what
He's
I'm
still
saying.
Not in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah. So I'm just like, my thing was, you can't penalize the rest of the world for the way they looked at it just because you think that Kobe was the greatest of all time, or because you put Kobe in a certain light over certain players or whatever. You can't be mad at everybody else because we don't feel that way. I'm not going to change my attitude towards a guy person because they died. So let's put it like this. If I didn't like Jacob when he was alive, I ain't gonna wait till Jacob die and say, boy, he was the greatest man of all time. You know what I'm saying?
I just gotta look at it like this. And I'm gonna say this, man. For how they treat Kobe, it made me think that analysts, sports writers, sports bloggers, sports critics, I feel like all of them had something against Kobe. All of them had something against Kobe, man. And because for what all he did for the game of basketball, bro, for him not to be mentioned even in the top 7 great of all time, like I think that's a slap in the face on how much he dedicated his life to basketball. So I really believe they have something against him, man. They had something against him, and they still do.
Where do you think that came from? Let me ask you, where do you think that came from if you feel that way?
So, Jason, you feel top 10?
What do you think the history is? Like what? Because we know baseball don't like Barry Bonds because of the way he treated the media. So why would you feel like the media has something against, or analysts has something against Kobe?
Because I think ever since the Denver thing, bro, the media has put him under a lot of scrutiny. The media don't want him in conversations. But if you want to take it like that, a lot of people say MJ daddy wouldn't be dead if he wasn't gambling. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so you didn't put MJ on the scrutiny, and somebody lost their life. You know what I mean?
I think
you gonna keep Pete Rose under scrutiny for damn almost 40 years because he gambled a little bit. What?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people look at Kobe. I mean, if you're gonna talk about it like that, I think the NBA does have like a black ball system. But if you do something off the court in the NBA, I do think you're less likely to be put on a pedestal. Like, look at Karl Malone. You'll never see Karl Malone in commercials. You don't hear Karl Malone name called on TV hardly. You always hear people mention Tim Duncan when they talk about greats. But I think Karl Malone may have been a better player than Tim. But because Karl Malone had it with a baby about 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl at the time or something like that, he get blackballed. So I think Kobe with the same thing, like you said.
Back up. Technical foul on the play, bro. Technical foul on the play. How dare you, bro? Don't you ever. Like I feel like I can come through the screen and really snatch you up and choke you, bro. Like don't you ever in your life say Karl Malone is a better player than Tim Duncan. Ain't no way across the board. Never.
You didn't watch Karl Malone growing up, did you?
Not at all.
Okay. I'm talking about Steve.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the stat. Was the man third leading all-time scorer?
Well, the reason why I say that is because Karl Malone probably he was the reason why they lost some championships, because he kept choking them away at the end where he couldn't make a free throw or he couldn't make a big shot against the Bulls. They had opportunities. They should have beat the Bulls. If you really look at the Jazz, they was right there every game. Every time it came down to winning the game, they was right there. But Karl Malone was the one that couldn't deliver. Now, they kept talking about he the mailman when he was delivering the mail late in them series.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm gonna say. Down through the stretch, when you get a rebound, as big as man Karl Malone was, how Michael Jordan stripped the ball out your hand? Pap! Come on, man.
Y'all right. I'm just saying, my bad. So put it like this: for him to be third leading scorer, and you never really hear about that. You never hear people talk about it. Everybody talk about Kareem or down LeBron at number 2, but Karl Malone is third.
They talk about Karl Malone, what you said, and they talk about how he didn't claim his chap until she was in the WNBA, or how he didn't never claim her or her brother until they got successful. And if you put them side by side and you put Karl Malone on the lace front, him and Cheryl look like damn sisters.
He said he put on the lace front.
What you think, bro?
Tim Duncan is better than Karl Malone, but I don't think Karl Malone was blackballed though.
You know what I'm saying?
No. When he was playing, he got MVP. I think he won MVP twice, right?
Yeah, twice.
2 times,
yeah. He's not in the spotlight. We don't typically talk about people that's not still doing something.
Yeah.
We don't even know what Karl Malone's doing.
Except Michael Jordan might be the only one.
Yeah. Karl Malone owned about 7. He owned about 7 trucks. He got a real estate company, construction company. And
but I'm saying he's not on social media. We don't see him on social
media. All right, hold that thought. We're gonna go to the second break. We're gonna come right back here on 910 Sports. Okay, we back. What's going on? KB?
KB, what's up?
What's going on? Sorry I'm late. Had some baby technical.
What up, KB?
What's going on?
Finish your thought, Crystal.
Oh, I was just saying, I don't think he was blackballed. I think he gets.
Can you hear me, Crystal?
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear her. Go ahead. I can hear her.
You can hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I can't hear her.
You hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't think he's blackballed. I just think he's out of the spotlight. That's all.
He might be like that type of person. He always seemed like one of them, country boys.
And he was a little assholeish in the league too, just a little bit. His thing about Magic. Remember his thing about Magic. The thing about his wife. So he ain't nothing to talk about really.
And he had I think people stay away from him because of the whole pedophile thing that he went through.
Yes, that was Steve said.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what kind of hurt him the most because he's the third leading scorer all time, and his kids these days don't even know who he is really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of hard for people to talk about you when you never really won a championship. Like you kind of get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those top players that are right there at the top of the scoring league all time won championships. And Karl Malone did.
Right. And if Charles Barkley, who's one of the greatest power forwards ever, if he wasn't on TNT and having sound bites and stuff, you wouldn't talk about him either.
No,
I agree with that.
You wouldn't mention him a whole lot either. So
yeah, you're right. So when you're out of sight, out of mind as a great, you know what I'm saying, especially an old school great like that, people kind of forget about you. Because it's a lot of players we could go back in history of over the years and we could say shouldn't be here or shouldn't be there or whatever. Like Bill Walton gets too much credit. You know what I'm saying? But he's always on TV. He's always somewhere. He's the worst sports analyst in the history of sports. I can't listen to him talk because when he does sports, he doesn't even talk about the game. He talks about going to the mountains and fishing and whatever. I'm like, bro, what does it have to do with the game? Like, talk about the game. He don't even talk about the game. It's like he's in his own. He's like that 70, 80-year-old man.
Well, he got old.
Like, that he talks about that you go over his house or whatever, and he just talking about everything. Or you see him at the gas station, and he walks and you start having random conversation about nothing. Like because old white people do that to me all the time now. I was in the grocery store last week.
I know you wrong for that.
I tell you the story. I was in the grocery store last week. And I'm going to buy some milk. And I happened to pick up a milk and it had Anderson on it. So this old white guy walks up and says, yeah, that milk was made by, that Anderson milk was made by the company, such company. And I'm like, okay, what does it have to do with anything? I'm just looking at the other person that's with me. And he said, oh, my son used to work for them. I was like, okay. He's like, that's a good milk. So you walk up and like, what you doing, a commercial? Like, what are we doing right now? Why are you walking to me in the grocery store, you know what I'm saying, to tell me this? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the kind of you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, so that's what Bill Walton is. He just like that old guy that every time I hear him doing sport, I have to turn the volume down. I cannot listen to him talk. You know what I'm
on me randomly and started talking about some damn milk, bro.
He was just on Bird and Tarazi show when they did the Final Four, and he was rambling on there. He was talking about like Title IX, and Tarazi then was like, yeah. He was on there.
It's just like, I just like, it's like he just loved to hear himself talk. He didn't got to that age where he wants to, and he'll remind you all the time how great he was back in the day. And then like, bro, you had like 3 good years. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was great for like 15, 20 years. Like, and I think they said he won the MVP. He's the only MVP. He had the least amount of games won for MVP. I just seen that the other day where he only played like 52 games or 57 games and was still won MVP in like 1979 with the Blazers or 77, whatever that year it was. And I'm like, what? So, you know what I mean? But, it's just certain things like that, man. That bothers me when you see how certain because during my time, they don't talk about a Bernard King. They don't talk about who else. There's a lot of players back in the day that don't get Adrian Dantley. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of players that were very good, great back in the day that they don't talk about when they start talking about certain things. I'm not saying necessarily they GOATs, but they don't, because they're not on TV every day or on commercials all the time. They don't get talked about, but they're just as great as their skill set was just as great as some of these other players we see today. Now, another thing too. Okay, so
what's
now that the offseason almost officially over with or whatever, what you laughing about, Steve?
Crystal, man. Crystal over there. I ain't fooling with Crystal anymore, man.
So now that the season is kind of, what y'all want? You know what? First of all, I want to say RIP to Dwayne Haskins yesterday. That was a tragic.
Did y'all see the details about what happened though? Like how it came out about he was on the interstate, like a I-95 type big interstate. He went on 595. 595. And he got hit by a car.
Yeah, they say he was in a rental. Supposedly he was in a rental car, and the car ran out of gas, and he had already hopped. You know how they got the little cement divider in the middle.
Yeah,
he had already hopped that and was trying to get across so he could get the joint. And because I've seen somebody cross a major street and almost get hit by a car. I think people, when you look at a car from a distance, you don't realize how fast
it's 85 miles per hour. It's
right.
hard.
So when you look, you're like, I got time, and that thing get up on you, and you ain't really got a chance. And they not. That dude was like supposedly it was cars around, so he couldn't really stop or like hit nobody else.
And it was a dump truck.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
The crazy part about, because he's still talking because I can't hear him. Oh, okay. The crazy part about it is black people, we known for that. We known to cross the street when traffic is coming. Like, we bad with that. We like old, like
jaywalking don't matter.
We like old dogs who don't know no better sometimes. Like, we'll cross the street. Yeah, you ever be somewhere in a neighborhood and a black person just walk right in front of you, or you on a highway somewhere and a black person walk across the road like they don't like you ain't there. Like okay, you gonna stop for me no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Especially like in the hood somewhere. You see that all the time. And then even people I was with last week, they from New York, Philly area, and they kept doing that. We in Vegas, and we was walking.
Oh, you can't do that in Vegas.
They give you a ticket in the road with traffic. Come on, say y'all ain't in Philly. I mean, this ain't New York. What y'all doing? Y'all will get hit out here.
Or get a jaywalking ticket. I was with somebody in Vegas and they gave them a jaywalking ticket.
Really?
A lot of places give you a jaywalking ticket.
Oh, I've never encountered that before. So that's crazy.
Yeah, Vegas. I'm surprised if y'all walked in the street and you walking with people in the street in Vegas, because so many people be intoxicated and so many people get hit. That's why Vegas, they don't really play that. They keep you out their streets and you got to stay in the crosswalk, or they'll walk up to you and hand your ticket for real.
Really? Wow. Because Vegas is like the most loose type of activity thing where you walk around, you can smoke weed in public and everything in Vegas.
As long as you follow them rules. They don't play when it comes to things you're not supposed to do. When you're drunk, like you can get drunk, you can be high as long as you follow the rules. But once you start not following the rules, you getting they serious. They're real serious.
That's like very contradictory. You can get high, you can get drunk, but I'm supposed to keep myself high and drunk. I'm supposed to start act when I'm high and drunk.
You're an adult. It's one of those things like you're an adult. You should be able to handle yourself.
That don't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But we at the end of the season.
They the last day.
Yeah, the last day. Now that we kind of here. And you know, it's funny. I seen this past week, Crystal. I want to get your thing on this because you've kind of been big on this all year. So they've actually said, Kyrie Irving has been struggling more since he actually been playing full time. So is that one of those things where now he realized he's not in shape really, or do you think that What do you think is going on with that? Because he's been struggling like that last week or so, and they've been pointing that out. Even though they've been winning.
How? He just dropped 42. Struggling how?
I mean, he's been having a lot of these 15, 16 point, like not those big games he was having.
Are you
talking about Hard?
Let me see how many shots he took.
That's what's been going on.
He dropped 42 when?
The other day against Houston, he just dropped 42.
When last night?
So that's a JV team.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
What he dropped 42?
He just dropped 40. If the day's Friday, I guess they play Friday or Thursday.
Well, yeah, I mean,
42.
but yeah, I get it. But he's had more, like, I guess you want to say, off games than he's had on games since he's been playing.
I don't think so. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I gotta look it up.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, Crystal, you're a little wrong because he had 42 on the 5th against Houston.
Right.
He had 24 points the next night against New York Knicks on 26 shots.
Okay.
He had 18 points against Cleveland yesterday. Well, on the 8th. He was 7 of 22.
Okay, now go look at KD's numbers because KD was terrible against Houston.
All right, let me see.
So I don't think I don't know. Like, I'm not saying he's been great since he's been back. Obviously, you do have to get in shape, but I don't think he's been bad though. KD was the hardest thing.
KD was 4 for 13 and had 18 points against Houston.
Yeah. They played the Bucks. Didn't Kyrie have 25? But I think he might have shot 24 times, though, didn't he? Or 26.
Him and KD, because KD had 26 points on 21 shots.
Yeah. See, maybe they just.
And I'm just saying is if he is, because they pointed out that he was struggling. You know what I'm saying? I noticed he hasn't been putting up those big games since he's been playing full time like he was when he would play 1 and 2 at a time. So I'm just thinking, is that maybe because playing full time, playing all the time now, that he's not as in shape as he thought he was? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're just playing one game, sometimes you could just go off on that one game and then be done. But if you're playing now you're playing every other night, could that come back to haunt him in the playoffs when now he got to play? Because you got to think him and Durant got to play. They ain't at 42, 45 minutes a game for them to win. You know what I'm saying? So they got to play a lot of minutes. Huh?
Which is why he's throwing up that many shots. Because who else gonna shoot?
I
get that point, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, just like last year, Durant kind of ran out of gas because of the fact that they never, like, the one thing with Steve Nash, for whatever reason, he don't know how to like manage minutes at all.
The rotation, his rotation, he don't have set rotations to me. It's like he kind of go how the game feel. Like, we up, okay, Kyrie, KD, I sit y'all down. Or I don't think he ever need to put both of them off the court at the same time. And I see that. And they get real, like, the Nets will go on a streak where they depending on Patty Mills to score. And it's like, that ain't going to really happen.
But Patty can score.
Patty Mills been having a rough. He I don't know. Patty Mills can come and go this year. He be coming.
I know he been good.
He'll go game where he don't score at all. I'll be like, what's going on with Patty Mills? Like, it's been rough on Patty this year a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I was just curious. I was just curious to know because I know you've been kind of campaigning a little bit for them down there in Brooklyn. So I just kind of.
I have not at all.
Crystal, what you think a better first round matchup is though for them? Would you think them versus the Heat is better first round or them versus Milwaukee?
Heat, of course.
The Heat.
Well, they're gonna probably get Milwaukee. If they get
I
Milwaukee,
think they're gonna get Milwaukee
in 7 games. Hello, how you doing? Oh, I lose it. She kicked out for a second. Then she come back on. Yeah. So I'm looking at it. They probably gonna get Milwaukee because they're in the 7th spot right now.
Yeah, they are.
They probably gonna end up getting Milwaukee because I don't really see them losing. I don't feel like see them losing in the play-in tournament.
But you know what? Today, though, Icon, depending on how the way the games shake out, everything could change. They could go from 7 to 9. They could actually be in 8 because Atlanta, Cleveland, New York, Brooklyn, and somebody else, and Charlotte. They all got them in the same record or separated by 1 game. So this is like the first time in the NBA season where the very last game actually count for a lot of teams. So it should be interesting today. I want to see how they do it. I don't know if the big like Miami and Boston I don't know if they're resting guys, but if not, yeah, they still don't know what the matchup is going to be. Still,
you know what? I wish Jake was on here. We had time because, you heard Adam Silver saying the other day they need to fix this whole superstar not playing thing or whatever regular game.
I did see that.
I would love to hear Jacob talk about that. We're gonna have to talk about that on Wednesday night probably because I would love to hear because Jacob, boy, that's his thing is load management. So Adam Silver's way softer when it comes to that kind of stuff than David Stern. David Stern wouldn't let none of that ride. The way these players be sitting out games like the way they do, you know what I'm saying, or would not been having that at all. So I'm very curious to see what how they're gonna fix that problem. I know they were saying something about, I guess it was gonna be, he said even though he feel like players making this kind of money shouldn't feel like have to need extra motivation to get on the court. But I guess that's what they've gotten to so bad where they might have to possibly like have extra incentives where you get extra money or something thrown into it to be able to play a certain amount of games. And I guess they want to play a shorter season, which I think I've been said that 82 games is too many games to me. I think after you get probably about 65, you already know what everybody is. Like we don't need 82 games, just like baseball. Baseball is super too long. We don't need 162 games to know who good and who ain't. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. I don't even get that whole thing or why they play that many. I never understood why baseball plays so many games. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of almost ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I guess it was always explained to me because when I got to the collegiate level in baseball, I never got to go to like the minors or the pros. But I guess they explained it because the games are so like long where they don't have the ability to put it into a short time frame. Like they have to spread it out so far. Because you want interleague play and you want division series. They play a 4-game series every time they play a team. So imagine NBA, every time you play somebody, you got to play them 4 games straight and then move on. Like that's why it don't seem like forever. And you playing the same people over and over and over. So
well, that's what they did last year in the shortened season when they only played 72 games. They kind of did the back-to-back thing where we go play the same team twice. You play them in back-to-backs or whatever. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And I think
back-to-back trash.
well, not necessarily back-to-back nights, but you would play the same team. Like if Charlotte played Atlanta, they would play like I would say home and home basically.
Yeah.
So they would do home and home. Yeah. So I think that's what I think that makes more sense to me even in basketball to do those home and homes versus. You know what I'm saying? And then go down to maybe 72 games. I think 82 games is way too many.
They said they want to have a mid-season tournament.
But I thought they had 72.
No, they had 82.
82.
That was just for that 1 year. That was just during the COVID, after the COVID, because they started late, remember?
Yeah.
When they came back from COVID, they only did the 72 games because they came back late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but they went back to 82 this year. You know what I mean? So,
it's dope. I just believe.
Huh?
I said, if you're a real baseball fan, then it's great because you get a chance to see your squad on any given day, and it's dope. Playing wise, it probably sucks because I remember back-to-back games or double headers, and that joint trash. And I went to bro, and I was like, that's like trash.
The boy get paid more money than anybody, so get paid to be out there.
And that's the one thing too. You don't got no they don't have no salary cap. So I pay you 82 games. I pay you $20 million for 2 years. And that's a cheap contract.
That's a cheap contract. In baseball, you get 1 year, 16 million, and it's nothing. Those contracts they give out all the time. So
fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay, we about to go to another 30-second break. So we'll be right back here on 910 Sports, and we'll be right back. Okay, we back here on 910 Sports. We was talking about the different, how they need to shorten some of these seasons out or whatever. Even going to football, I don't know how much I like the fact that they went to 17 games in football. I don't know. I don't really know if I necessarily like that. You know what I mean? I don't think it was necessary, but I get it. They always come down to money.
I was cool with it as long as they had took that preseason away. I didn't want to play 17 games and then still have 4 preseason games. Because don't nobody ever watch them last 2 preseason games. It just don't be worth it. Or that third one, really, when they play everybody might watch for the first half. But I do feel like you too, Icon, with that, like 4 preseason games and then 16 regular season games. That was probably too much.
Yeah. I didn't think the preseason, the 4 preseason games. My thing is, at the end of the day, if you look at like college football, or whatever, and you have the scrimmages and all of that kind of stuff, you kind of, you go that as far as figuring out who's going to be on your team and all that kind of stuff. And I think like if you have the 2 preseason games, that's for those players that's kind of like on the bubble, or a couple of players that you're trying to really feel like what they can do, or your rookies, get them in camp. But I think for the veteran players, they might need a little bit of preseason work, but I don't really think most don't even play in the preseason. Like your top players don't even really play. Like Tom Brady, he chooses to play, but he don't really have to. You know what I'm saying? But most of your running backs and your wide receivers, they don't really play. Your offensive linemen will play a little bit to get their continuity on the field. But you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't think you need 4 games when you're not even playing most of your players. But you play them the first game and the third game. And the second and the fourth game, they don't even play. That fourth game, they don't even play at all. So it's like, what's the whole point of having 4 preseason games when your starters ain't gonna play at all in the last one?
I like the preseason games in the sense of because that's where the depth is built. Like when I look at them, like I like to see who's playing, like fighting for that job or fighting for that spot, stuff like that. Like that's why some preseason games be on, like when it's the guys, it's like the fringe free agents or like the third string guys. They be in there knocking heads because they're literally playing for their life. You know what I'm saying? Playing for their job. So I mean, as a regular consumer, like you're like, oh, you're not gonna get to see Tom Brady play. No. But if you're a football fan,
I'm about to say,
you're gonna see some good football.
You
so
follow
I think,
college, so you know a lot of the names that's still out there too. Whereas,
the
a regular person look at these people, they like, bro, I don't know who this guy is. And he dropping back, but you watched him in college. You know he was a running back or wide receiver at this smaller school and stuff like that. So to see that compare and contrast to how the smaller school dudes do, I do look at the preseason for that part. But like the quality of the game and like you said, for the regular consumer, that preseason just a waste of time, man.
So do y'all think like, okay, should how they got this new football league coming out? Should the NFL do a better job of like maybe teaming up with one of these leagues and having their season coincide with theirs? So if they have players, how they have like the G League, and they bring players up from the G League, and when they have players get hurt or whatever, or should it be just like it is now where they play 2 different seasons, and then if you like somebody from that league, like they did, what's the quarterback? He end up being a backup in Carolina.
I know what you're talking about. I know his name.
Yeah, he was on that Houston team. I think it was Houston somebody for that league, and then he ended up the job in the NFL.
PJ Walker.
So how do y'all feel about that?
I think it's no, I can't see them playing together just because the game of football is so intricate, and especially the plays, like you have to know a playbook to be effective. Like sure, you may know like, oh, run a draw or run something small like for a running back, maybe it may be a little beneficial, but you have to learn blocking schemes, terminology, and every team is different. So you would have to literally come and learn something brand new before you can even get on the field. Some positions you can kind of plug and play, like, hey, come in, just do this. But to get the true value of a player, they need to have time to learn the playbook. So that's why I think 2 separate times, parts of the year, you have an evaluation. So if you ball out in the USFL, you know what I'm saying, or XFL, and you ball out, then you have an opportunity to come to a
I don't
team.
know. You kind of going in and out, but so if let's just say, for argument's sake, you have teams that's plugged in with other teams. So let's just say, for argument's sake, like the NBA, each team has their own G League team. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you want to bring somebody up, but they kind of like the players that's on that team already kind of studying, kind of have like you might want to bring somebody up. They get a week or two or whatever to kind of study the playbook before you bring them up. Like you don't just bring them up immediately. You give them a week or two to to study the playbook before you bring them up on that situation. Could it work in that regard? I mean, I know you're a football player. You played, so you kind of understand it more than most. So
it probably it's hard when it's like that because the availability of information, like they're very,
he
very.
went out. So Steve-O, answer that question.
We
He
can
come
hear
back because
him.
I know he just keep going.
Yeah, I can hear.
You can hear him? Oh, okay.
We can hear him.
Okay.
It's very the availability of information is very secretive. So like that team and their playbook, like on their iPads, if a player loses their iPad, they wipe it. Like their information and their terminology stuff. So if you give it to a whole nother team, that means you have a whole nother 75 guys that you have to monitor and make sure that your NFL information doesn't get in the wrong hands. And I just think that's why they have practice squad. That's why they have 10, 12 guys on the practice squad that like, yo, if we need somebody, we can pull somebody up, or I'll sign you to my practice squad if we think you're good enough. I think that's where it just would be
okay. Gotcha. How you doing, Miss Nelson? How you doing this morning? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm blessed. Thank you. How are you all?
Good.
Fine, doing fine.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm
Can you
sorry
hear
I
me, Miss
can't.
Tori Shownuff Nelson? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, so Jacob will be back here in a minute. So, but I just want you to go ahead and introduce we're gonna introduce you. So you're a 13-time world champion in 3 different weight classes.
5.
Five. Okay,
Sorry, to her short.
I stand corrected. 5 different weight classes. You Olympic medal winning champion over.
No,
Also,
I didn't do the Olympics. I did the Golden Gloves for
Golden
Golden Gloves. Okay, Golden Gloves. So you're a Golden Glove, you're a champion. So basically, we just want to introduce you, and we're so glad to have you on here this morning, because you basically are you in the history books. You know what I'm saying? You one of our heroes. So everybody, welcome Miss Tori Nelson. To the show.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on with us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
basically, I see Crystal's face, so I'm gonna let Crystal go first because I already know I see that Crystal glowing already. So
I just want to give her a proper applause. That's all.
Oh, thank you.
But my first question is, how did you get into boxing? As a woman, how did you get into boxing?
Actually, just to lose weight. I had my children. I have 2 children. And my ex used to box in the military. And he was like, that's the best workout you can have, And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. But when I went to the gym, the man that owned it at the time watched me on tape a lot through the cameras. Mm-hmm. And he said, what would you want out of this if you compete? I said, I didn't come to compete. I came just to lose weight. But I said, would y'all pay me? Like, will I get paid? Because what I won't do is be getting hit in my face for free. He said, if you're good enough, you will get paid. I said, well, if I put my mind, if I really want to do it, I'm going to be a world champion. And he was like, okay. Like, he didn't believe me. And so that's how I got started.
Okay. And so how old were you when you did your first fight?
I want to say I was like 30.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I got shot.
I started boxing very late.
No, bro, you ain't got no shot. No. Let's not even start that, bro. We do a show every Saturday.
Nah, go ahead.
Yes, I started boxing very late, very late.
Okay, and so since you're so good, obviously, do you wish you had started earlier?
My coach asked me the same thing. I said no, because earlier he wouldn't have wanted me. I lived a wild life. I was not ready. No, to be truthfully, no. I wouldn't have had the mindset at the time.
Okay.
Originally, where are you from?
South Virginia, North Carolina.
Okay. What part of North Carolina?
Right on the Virginia line. Like maybe Henderson might be the closest thing yeah. Why? Because you hear my New York accent?
Man, when you say you live a wild life, I just want to see where you lived your wild life at.
Oh yeah, you would. You would be very surprised. I have a movie, blissfully
go
coming
ahead,
out.
Crystal.
So y'all gonna be so shocked of the way my life has turned around.
So you got when is your movie coming out?
It's actually, we have under contract right now, so we have to, like, it hasn't started yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, that's all I got for now. KB, Steve-O.
Yeah, so I got two questions. So what do people assume about you that's like annoying or that's just never right about, with being a boxer?
That we're angry. Like, we angry. They just think that we just angry all the time. That's why we fight. That's not true. Now, I used to have anger issues and I didn't mind laying my hands on you. But I mean, it's stereotype, because that's not us. Like, for real, we are the least angry people. You got to think about our job. We get paid to beat people up. Like, it's no court fees, it's none of that. Like, you paying us to fight. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got the best job ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's one. And the other one is like, it depends on the size you are. My pet peeve is people say, oh, you so little. Oh, you can't beat this girl. You can't beat that guy. Like, that bothers me. Because my size, like my strength is not my size.
Yeah,
right.
True.
Right.
Yes.
What do your kids think about? I know you said you had kids first, then you got into boxing. What did the kids initially think about you boxing? Like, mommy's about to go in here and fight. How do you handle that?
My daughter, now she's feisty like me. My daughter, she loved every second of it. From the time she was very little, she would be in the gym while I'm training. She loved it. Oh, she loved it. My son, though,
What do your
my
kids
son
think about?
cried
I know you said the kids
every
first.
sparring day.
What did the kids initially think about? We got to go in here and fight. How do you handle that?
Am I the only one hearing that?
No, we got to.
We heard it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we heard
I was making sure I didn't take too many hits to my head.
No, that was me. I apologize. That was me for a second. I was going in and out, so I was trying to adjust my volume on there. So that was me.
Okay.
It wasn't you. I was trying to throw you off.
You can't do that to a boxer. We think we going crazy.
Yeah. So, because the thing about it too is, because I know when you said about anger issues, and the one thing they say is a boxer, you can't go in the ring angry because it's a thinking man's game too. So you thinking woman or thinking man or woman's game. So you got to go in there with your head clear, and because it's very strategic, and everything you do in that ring. So you got to definitely can't go in there and allow your anger to control your emotions.
That's so true. That's so true. Like, people think, I don't know why people think that though, because we're not angry by far. And the first punch in your face, like your first punch that you get hit with, you really have to stay calm. The main thing is we have to stay calm, cool, and collected. Stick to the plan. Like Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody got a plan till they take that
first in the
face.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it all in the street, it all go out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But in the ring, you gotta keep it like for real, like mindful of what you there for. So anger is far from us.
Now, the other question I had, like you being a pro, champion, all that. How do you feel about the rise of the celebrity boxing, or like the people that's not really boxers coming in challenging real boxers and being like the main card, like they're coming in and they're like the main act versus somebody like yourself who's should be that main card.
Whew, okay. First, I am totally blessed to be like a 13-time world champion. The hard work, the dedication, the sweat, the tears, the everything that comes with it. And I'm gonna speak for all boxers because we've had this conversation. Me and a few fighters have had this conversation. That's trash. Like, it shouldn't be. You don't see somebody just from Walmart going talk about, oh, I'm going to play in the NFL and just put on a suit and play. You don't see like these celebrities going to just, I mean, on the basketball court, yeah, they play basketball, but it's not like they doing boxing. Like it bothers us because is they making it as a game. Right. But what if somebody really get hurt?
Yep.
That's when their eyes gonna open. Is it gonna take somebody's death to make them stop doing that? Because it only takes one punch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. And there's a lot of us that don't like it.
Yeah. And that's one thing I've said. That's one thing I didn't like about that whole celebrity boxing thing is because they made a mockery of the sport.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I put a lot of time. I respect the hell out of a boxer more than I do most sports because for anybody getting in the ring get punched in the face, like you said, y'all already kind of off anyway. You got to be something. You got to really be a little crazy to get in the ring for somebody to get punched in the face and a lot. You know what I'm saying? Time in and time out, whether you're getting paid for it or not. So I got mad love respect for y'all. And it's funny because when you talk about being small and having to box, and I said when I grew up, I was a small kid, and back in the day, you had to fight in your neighborhoods, and I remember having to fight bigger people, and I remember the whole time I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do next. Do I grab them? Do I run? What do I do? Do I pick up something? So you gotta think when you fight somebody big, you can't just go in there wrestle and get knocked out. That's just street fighting. We ain't talking about on a technical level. You know what I'm saying? So what's the biggest person you ever fought? Like, what's the person that you went in the ring yourself and thought, "Ooh, this is gonna be a challenge"? You know what I'm saying? So who was that?
My biggest person. I have two. For my very first fight I was coming from amateurs. She was the number one girl in the United States. That was my very first pro fight. And I'm like, wow, okay, here we go. When I say that girl, one of her legs was two of mine. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Yes. But let me tell you, like I told you, my size is not my strength. I dogged her. But I drugged her. But they told me, they gave me a draw. Because if you know boxing, when they give you a draw, that means like you won, but they can't take the embarrassment of our amateur gonna come and beat our number one girl. But then we ran it again. So the second fight, I was just like, my coach told me, you can't leave it in their hands.
Nope.
You have to take this. Oh, I drugged her. My second biggest girl, Clarissa Shields. Oh my gosh.
Well, hold that thought for a second. We got a quick commercial 30-second break, so hold your thought for 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Okay.
On 910 Sports. Okay, we back. So
Unmute the icon. You still got to mute.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we back here on 910 Sports. So yeah, Crystal, you got a question?
No, she was talking
Another
about
question?
Clarissa. No, she was talking about Clarissa Shields, and that was my next question. I was gonna ask you, how was it fighting Clarissa Shields? So how big was she?
Oh my gosh.
Is Crystal talking? I can't tell.
Okay. Yes, she is. Yes, she's a big girl. Like, I thought my main fighting was at 154, but to be the best, you have to fight the best. That's how I look at it. You can't say you the best if you just fighting just anybody, to make you feel good. So I said, okay, I'll go for Clarissa. Fine. Oof. Let me just tell y'all, she came down to 168.
Ooh, so she blew right back up after weigh-in.
What? You better say it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I couldn't even make weight at 168.
Ooh.
I couldn't gain it. Like, I got so big. And I look back at that fight, I look like, oh my God, I was so big. And I'm just like, it was so much weight. So just to try to get to fight her, I had to gain like 20 pounds.
Ooh.
And it was so much. But to move that weight around was a lot. So it wasn't that I was just fighting Clarissa. I was fighting that weight on me.
How long did you have like between the fights to get ready? I don't want to cut you off, so I had to cut weight myself doing wrestling, so I know how that can be.
Oh yes, cutting weight is very easy for me. Gaining weight is the hardest. Gotcha. Everybody say, "Oh, you just come and eat with me." Girl,
don't work like that.
That's not it.
Nah.
Like, you have to gain the weight, maintain it while you're still working out, because every workout you're losing. So then you have to pack that weight back on. Like, oh my gosh, it was so much. So gaining the weight was very hard. So those was the two bigger girls. And you know what? When we did weigh-ins, she looked at me. She was like, "You are little." I said, "That's all right, but I ain't going nowhere in that ring. Let me let you know right now."
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes, those are the biggest.
So you feel like you was a natural? Like, what made you be able to get so great in boxing? Was you like a natural fighter before that? Like, do you have hands before that? So what made you get so good?
She said she would beat people up all the time, right?
All the time. Oh, I was fighting all the time. I just won't get paid for it. I was paying.
So what was the hardest thing for you to learn in the technical side? What for boxing? What was the hardest thing for you to actually like get or like catch on to?
Take the street part out.
Can't grab
the hardest part.
Can't grab them. Yeah.
You can't grab them, sneak them around. Well, you can sneak them around a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? You can't trip them and do all that stuff. Body slam nobody. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do that.
Yeah, no.
Can't be pulling hair in the ring.
No, you can't do all that.
I was never a hair puller. I got 3 brothers, and I'm the baby. I'm the only girl, and I got all brothers.
That explains.
So, I was like, what is On the Color Purple? I had to fight all my life. I had to fight to eat. I had to fight to play. I had to fight. Like, I fought all the time. So, yes, the hard part for me was to take the street out of it and my coach used to always say, "T, you can't do that. Look, y'all need to have patience with me because, look, this is what I know. It's not going to change overnight. Like, I need, structure here. Let me help me."
Did you watch the fight last night with Estrada?
No, I was so tired. What happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Now I don't want to be disrespectful. The Japanese that she was, I don't know the lady name. I can't pronounce her name. It's very hard to pronounce. But the lady she was fighting, she was sticking with her. But no matter how hard Estrada hit the Chinese lady, she would not move. She stayed in front of her the whole time, kept coming. Estrada won by decision, but the Chinese lady, she said that was going to be her last fight, but she wasn't going out. She was staying in front of her. She wasn't moving. Do you see or have you realized, like, when you're fighting people from another country, that's a little different than fighting someone else from here in America?
Yes. You know why? Because I say my hardest fight was this girl. She was Spanish and black. She was mixed, but she was from like somewhere different, from a different country.
I got you.
When I say they fight different, because we have the life here, and we're baby-fied. Even in our training, like things are easier for us. They're hungry. In different countries, they're hungry because they saying this is their life. Like their training is different than ours. It's hard. Like they don't have all the equipment we have.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they come to win. They not coming to play with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jacob,
last night that was good.
and
And them girls were going at it last night.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, Jacob, go ahead and jump in. I know you got some questions.
Hey, Tori, how you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So, you as an iconic female boxer, what is the nutrition balance like for you when you're training for a fight, or is that nutrition balance like that for you all the time?
It became yes, it's like that all the time. At first, it wasn't. But once you do it so many years, like it just becomes your life. But when I used to say when training camp start, not just me in training camp, my house is in training camp.
Okay.
So my kids already know, like, all right, you got so many days to start doing all the junk you're gonna eat and everything you're gonna do, because when training camp start, like we're in training camp. And they like, okay.
Hey, with mama boxing.
Okay then.
So they did not like it.
That's what they didn't like. They didn't like you didn't box. That you boxed. They like that they had to eat all that good food.
Right.
They had to eat right.
What's this asparagus?
My bad, Jacob.
But we have one day. Saturday was our cheat day.
Okay.
Because you have to have one day. If not, your body will reject everything and then you will crash, So one day, Saturday was our junk day. Oh, they used to go to town until we all did, actually. Let me tell you, Saturday morning at midnight, Friday night, Saturday morning, I would wake up just so I could be eating M&Ms. I'm telling you, I'll be like, oh, this my day.
Huh?
I'm getting the whole day. Yes. Oh, you're not about to cheat me on my day. But then once you start doing it, within like the second week, you can't. Like it's only so much junk your body will take, and you'll start throwing it up.
Yep.
Your body will reject it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So with you having that cheat day and like it seems like your children had boot camp with signing no paperwork for the military.
Now, do you realize the accomplishments that you've made, the history that you've really made in this sport? How accomplished? So you're not one of them people that kind of that your career. So as you was going through your career, like a lot of athletes, where you were just going through the career, and you wasn't really thinking about the accolades and the things that you was accomplishing.
No, and I still people still be like, "What's up, champ?" And I'm like, "Hey," and they ask me that same question, and I don't. Like, I just lived. That's it. I just did. I was having fun. I was doing what I enjoyed doing. Like, I was fighting and getting paid for it. Like that's the best job anybody can have.
But somebody in the face and get paid money for it. You're right.
What? And I don't have no lawyers and all that court fees. Like, I really enjoyed it. I did.
Do your kids take it up now? Do you foresee any of your kids being boxing just like you taking it up?
No. Now they know how to fight, or what you won't do is put your hands on them.
I wouldn't even try.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even think about it, because I already know what they mama gonna do.
They're gonna get.
You gotta deal with the mama.
But the thing,
so
They might be like,
they're
let me
gonna
go
get
get
tried.
my mom.
They gonna get tried though.
That means a whole different. That's a whole different meaning when they say it for her crew. So I'm going.
Right.
That's a whole different ball game we talking about now. So
somebody gonna try it. They're like, your mom fight? Oh, okay, let's see.
You can go in there and knock out what's the name? The celebrity fighter, the thing can beat everybody. You need to go in and knock him out one good time.
Talking about Jake
maybe
Paul?
He'll finally stop. Yeah, Jay Paul. Need to go ahead and knock him out. So maybe he'll fight. Maybe he'll learn his lesson. You know what I'm saying? That's the most embarrassing thing probably for him to get in and get knocked out by a female boxer. You know what I'm saying? To sit his butt down somewhere.
Somewhere, and you said he need to sit his butt down somewhere. It makes. I've gotten a phone call to do it. I was like, no, I'm not entertaining like that. I'm not even entertaining y'all. Get off my phone because that's ridiculous. Like you not that is disrespectful.
Yep.
I just know.
Have you ever had a guy challenge you? Not necessarily maybe professionally, but just knowing like, oh, you're a boxer and guys being insecure and stuff like that.
I only train with guys. Like
okay.
I don't train with girls. Like my sparring partners are all guys. I had girls. My coach, I had a few girls that came to want to spar with me. My coach said, T, they come one and done. They get in the ring one time, you don't see them no more. He was like, you can't break your toys. Well, don't put those toys on.
Oh, shoot. You can't break your toys.
Yeah, so I'm just like, and to the point where I just stopped training with girls. I only train with the boys on my team. And other guys come from other gyms to train with me, So, and as far as guys on the street, sometime, always they'll say, oh, punch me. Let me see how hard you punch.
Oh, hell no.
And I'd be like, nah. If you come to my gym and sign that waiver, you'll get more than one punch. Yeah, you'll get the full speed ahead.
I can't.
Go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead, Jacob. Take one to the real quick. Let me see you take one to the real from
him. Hey, fam. I love the sport, but I don't love it that much. You know what I mean? I don't love it that much to be hit by nobody, man. Like, so I can just be a spectator. Take some power shots of her hitting somebody else, and be like, this is what Tori do to you. Go ahead. Like for real. So Tori, let me ask you this. Now this boxing thing is a heavy business, like behind the scenes of what people don't know about. So how does the process of signing on with a boxing promotion camp, work with a 13-time world champion like yourself? How does that work, and what are negotiations like with you?
By God's grace, I was blessed to have, first, my coach and I started just us. Like we didn't want to sign with anyone because you can't trust people. I don't trust people.
True.
And people are out to get you. And we all, if y'all don't know, let me teach you. Boxing is a very cutthroat sport. Mm-hmm. They will sign you and sign somebody else, put y'all to fight each other, and then put you on the shelf. So you're not fighting, you're not making no money, none of that. And so, like, I didn't want to sign at first with anybody. I've gotten a call from Mayweather. I've gotten a call from the other
Golden Boy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, I don't want that. I don't want it, because for one, like I told you, you get hurt one time, they don't care about you. They got a million other fighters, so they're not going to care about you. So my coach and I signed with Ponytail Promotions, and he's a private little guy. Like, he got some hitters, but he's private, like, and it's small. So I knew that he would care about us.
Okay.
And so signing with him was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept me moving. Let me tell you, when I say I fought, at one time I was fighting every 30 days. They say you have to fight 30 days. They want you to fight within like 30 days. So I was fighting to the second. They would hold me in the back until midnight would hit and I would fight. That's how he had me fighting.
Oh, yeah. So he had you knocking some people's head off. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was rolling. And people was like, how you fighting so much? Because if I'm not getting hurt, he was like, why rest you? You're not hurt. Are you hurt? No. Okay, then let's go. Get back in training camp. So let's say I fought on Saturday. Sunday, I'm in the hot tub. I'm in the ice thing. I'm getting my body right. Monday, I'm back in training.
Damn.
And my body was good. Like I was fine with it.
Yeah, I heard Mike Tyson talk about that.
I'm sorry.
I remember when Mike Tyson first started, he said he was fighting, I think like 20, 30 times a year. You know, I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, why not? Why not? If your body isn't hurting, and you're resting it, it's not like you going full speed ahead at the beginning of training camp. Like, and if you don't lose it, like if I don't use it, I lose it. So if my body is still doing well, why sit down and rest?
True. Right.
Yeah, I guess we used to these boxers now only boxing a couple times a year. They didn't got all these sports and kind of got a little soft. You know, even these boxers now, they only fight a couple times a year. And some of them only fight once a year. So
they get that one check, they good. Yeah, they relaxing. They get that check. They don't want to fight for a minute, and then they come back, get another check. Yeah, I ain't had time for that. I wasn't there for the money. I was there because I loved it.
So go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna ask. So asking about like the money in a business sport, how do you feel about like the flashiness of a lot of fighters, like following that Mayweather persona, like AB and guys that come in there, rings, chains, sound bites. Do you think that's just trash, or do you think that maybe some women should do it to probably bring more attention to it? What do you think?
It's trash. That's trash. You know why? Look at all of them. Let's look back. Okay, was Mike Tyson flashy?
Nope.
Not at all.
Black
gloves. Was knocking them out.
Black trunks, right? Black gloves. That's all he had.
Yes. And I mean, think about it. All these guys that's flashy, half of them is coming in getting knocked out or they're losing. They don't have a winning streak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you put them beside somebody that they got from the grocery store, like that's not, but flashiness does nothing. It does nothing.
You don't think it adds to like people want to watch the sport though? Do you think it adds to like, do you think it adds to people want to actually watch it though?
Sometimes maybe, not really. Because if you're an athlete or if you like a sport, you're going to watch it for the skills. That's my thing. I wore all black for a reason. One, I wore because Mike Tyson was my dude. Joe Frazier and Mike Tyson were my two idols,
Okay.
So they came to fight. They didn't come like, okay, Joe Frazier talked trash, of course, but he came to show and approve himself. Mike Tyson came to just drop you. He just came to do his job and go home. And so that's why I wore black all the time, because it takes away from my skill. I don't need you looking at my shorts, talking about my shoes, talking about no, I need you talking about, that girl got hands. Oh, that girl can move her feet. Like, that's what I want to be known for. For my skills, not my looks. Like, look at me when I get out the ring. Talk about my clothes when you see me in the street. Yeah, because
hold that thought for a second. We got another 30-second break we got to take real quick. So hold that thought. We here on 910 Sports with Tori Nelson. We'll be back in a second. Okay, we back here on 910 Sports. We got Tori Nelson on here, 13-time world champion. Sorry about that. Complete your thought, please, ma'am.
I done took the heads to my head. What was I talking about?
You was talking about the training and you know how Mike come in just to knock you out and do you and they were talking
my clothes. Yes,
right.
I was talking, my clothes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't come to be flashy, and I think flashy it's only for the fighter. My thing is, who you trying to convince, yourself or me? Like, if you coming in flashy, that's just to build your own self up. That's all. Just come with your skills and let everybody else build you up.
Right. So speaking of Mike, I've been reading your articles because your publicist has been sending them to me and stuff like that. So I seen, you was pictured with Mike Tyson on a cover of a magazine or a blog or something.
Yes.
And so I just want to ask you, how are those conversations with Iron Mike Tyson? Because Mike a funny guy, you know what I mean?
Yes, he is.
Mike can tell you I'm the greatest fighter in the world, and I can still knock him out.
Boy, you crazy.
He gonna come at you for imitating.
Who is that guy that what you was talking to?
You gotta rub one of your ribs.
I'm just saying, man, because I listen to a lot of stand-ups, and mostly all the stand-ups got somebody talking like Mike Tyson, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't know what comedians
you ain't no stand-up though, bro.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, hey, man. I mean, everybody wanna see, like, when people hang out with Mike Tyson, they want to know what the conversation was like. So enough, what was that conversation like?
I've been with Mike quite a few times. We're friends. Like, he's cool. His conversation. The very first time I met him, he couldn't believe. Like, he was like, I think I had maybe like 3 belts at the time, or 2 or 3, and one of them was the WBC.
Oh,
he loved it. He loved it because I guess he didn't get the WBC belt. So he loved that belt. He just kept saying, he was asking me, how was the fight? And for the fight, I fought one of Mayweather girls for that fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I fought the Mayweather team to get that fight in Trinidad. Yes, that was a good fight. I dogged her too. But that was a whole different ball game.
Do you have an because it's like Mayweather girl, and Mayweather production is supposed to be like the class of boxing right now. And I'm not gonna lie, looking at the fight last night, the top ranked production compared to a Mayweather production is completely different.
It really is. It's very different. It is because it's flash.
Yep, it's flash, but the quality of the fights are better than Mayweather's production. And that's my opinion, because the fights I watched last night, I watched the undercards. Like, I watched all of the fights just to make sure I get to the main event. The undercards just weren't, you didn't have that excitement in the undercards. I don't know if everybody was nervous. It just the undercards fights, they just didn't jump out last night, except for the one with Estrada. That fight was dope. The girls tore it down last night. I will give it that.
We always do.
I enjoyed the girl fight better than Ryan Garcia.
Yes. You know why? Everybody, they ask me that. Like, I think I love female fights because, for one, we don't have egos. Like, we in the middle of that ring. We in that square, toe to toe. We banging. You drop, you get up, and you start back fighting again.
Yeah.
Guys, they get dropped. They got to run and dance around and get themselves together and show off. And like, they not trying to get dropped again. Like, but no, us, we in. Oh, you in there. We in that pocket and it's in there.
Yeah.
They were Ali's daughter? Did you ever meet Ali's daughter?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Icon. My fault.
Have I met Ali's daughter?
Yeah, the one that used to box. I can't remember her first name.
Layla.
Layla.
Oh, you was boxing too, huh? That's all right. That's all right.
He said he had to fight, bro.
Hey, I might have got hit in the head. It went from boxing. I might have got hit for head and stuff.
No, I didn't fight Layla. I never met her. No disrespect. I don't care to meet her. I got her belt. I got the WBC belt that she had. But I don't care to meet Layla because she did what she's supposed to have done. She did. She rode her dad's coattail.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me now. My female is my favorite fighter is Ann Wolf. Now, Layla would have had all my respect if she had got in that ring with Ann Wolf. You not about to say you the best out there and you this, you that, and you running away from a fight. Like, I don't run from nobody. I would have fought you. I don't care if you was King Kong. You got in there. You passed that test, say you was a female. We in there. You know what I'm saying? But she would not fight Ann Wolf.
That's true.
That's
true. So
I always thought she was overrated.
I respect Christy Martin and I respect Ann Wolf. You know, but I respect Ann Wolf over top of anybody because she would have fought anybody.
Yeah.
But you're not about to call me out like Ann Wolf called Layla out. Still to this, what Deontay Wilder said, to this day.
To this day.
You know, to this day, Ann Wolf still talk trash to Layla, and she does nothing. She says nothing. You know, so you will know.
She know what it is. Then she the bully on the block.
She know what it is.
Yeah, she knows.
What weight class did you win the WBC title? It wasn't the one they were fighting for last night, was it?
No, I won. I was in 54.
I think they were.
That's what they was fighting in last night.
I think they were. I think they were fighting. I think they were. I think it's solid. I think she is 150.
You know, is it 54? I don't think she got the 54. I don't know. I'm not sure though. I didn't look.
Okay, but you said you wanted at 154.
I think I wanted at 54.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so I got a question while looking up that. Well, what did you do to psych yourself up, if anything? Was it slaps? Was it just maybe boxing around the room? Like, how did you get ready for the show?
You know, I was getting ready through training camp because I did none of that. Like before the fight, I listened to my music. We shadow boxed a little bit. We did mid work, but my thing is, I love to eat. So my coach used to say, okay, T, take that to the ring. So you made me lose 30 days of eating my peanut M&Ms, my food that I love to eat. So somebody got to pay for that. Right? So, I mean, and it's odd, like it's true. Like, that's what sized me. So he would say, all right, and you know what he would tell me after every fight, right before the fight, rather. T, after this, we're going to get macaroni and cheese. We need to hear him in this fight then, because I need to get my macaroni and cheese. That's how I guess if that's what you want to call size, that's it then. Because food was my motto. Food motivated me.
That's funny.
Okay, so what was your?
So have you ever thought about being a trainer yourself, or do you mentor other boxers, or what? Have you or even a boxing analyst or anything like that?
You know, I don't think they want me to.
You'll be very entertaining. I love to hear you and break down boxing and at the same time have your little jokes and stuff in there. I love to see you. I think you'd be very entertaining.
I would love it too. But you know what? I put out there, I would love to do it. You know, I ain't got not one call because they know my mouth is reckless. So They'll be like, Tori, no. I would love to do it though. But I do motivate people. Like I do train, people. Mainly, my thing is I don't train you to go box. I train you to be able to defend yourself and protect yourself. And I also train females and males, mainly females, that don't want to go to the gym because they're not ready yet. Like they feel like their body isn't ready to be seen like that yet.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So what, you got a meal plan? Let me see what you got a meal plan for
Wait, did you miss the part where I say I love to eat now? That's why I work out so hard so I can eat. No, I do good though. Like I don't eat as bad as I used to before boxing because now it's just instilled in me. But now let me tell you, on yesterday, baby, I get it in on Saturdays. Mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, fried chicken, anything I can get. Lemon Oreos, my favorite macaroni and cheese. Oh, I get it in. But then I know I have to work out Monday.
Right. So what does a workout for you look like?
Okay, so let's say my warm up 30 minutes. I may run for 30 minutes. That's like about 3.5, 4 mile run. That's a warm up. Then
a whole workout. Go ahead.
Then I got my workout. So I do 4 sets of 12. That's benching. So depending on if I'm benching heavy, I do 4 sets of anything. So that's pushing and pulling. So I'm working I'm pushing.
She need to be in the NFL. Jeez, damn.
He is terrible. My workout is good. I do my legs. I do 25, 4 sets of 25 on my legs. So that's either the little curl leg things, or you sit down on the machine and you put your feet up like the NFL guys and push. I do 25 of those. But that's for the females because we got to keep our legs and our butt tight,
Right.
Girl, make sure you do that. Okay, 4 sets of 25 because that'll keep it firm.
I got
so you want to get a motivational speaker call?
Achievement 4.
Excuse me?
I said you want to get a motivational speaker call, like to go around the country, because I think you would be a great inspiration, especially the females, young and older. Especially the fact that you started your career so late, and people think age is always a factor in everything, and you proved that age is not a factor. You know what I'm saying? Even in a combat sport like yours.
Oh yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You defied all the odds.
Yes, sir. I have the baddest PR out there. Desiree Benson.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Now, yes, I do motivational speaking. Yes, sir, I do. She keep me rolling. And, I love it because I want people, like you said, I want people to know, like, your age is just a number. Like, it don't make or break you. It's your mindset. Like, if you put your mind to something, you can do it. And that's my motto. That's one of my mottos. Don't let anyone tell you what you cannot do. Just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean that it can't be done. I tell people that all the time. They don't know what God got planned for you. They just know what hasn't been done already. But that doesn't look at Clarissa Shields, who said, like, just because, a female hadn't won 2 gold medalists in the Olympics. Look, and she's done it. Like, they don't know her plans. They don't know what God got planned for her. Just because it had not been done didn't mean it couldn't be.
Right.
Yes. So yes, I do motivational speaking. So anybody that need it, hook us up. Call Miss Desiree Benson. Email her. Do whatever you got to do. Find her on social media and book me because I'm ready to come to your venue and tell you about yourself. Yes.
I know that's right. So what's next for you?
Well, next right now, Miss Desiree keeps me rolling. So my main thing is motivational speaking. Eventually, I'll open some gyms around, a little bit. But I'm enjoying life right now. I just want to do motivational speaking and help people. Like to know, like, use your time wisely. You only got one life. Have fun in it, but be healthy. Most people don't think of they don't appreciate their life. Like they don't live it to the fullest like they should. And sometimes I don't either. But you only get one. So live it, and use it to help somebody else, help others. Once you up there and you've accomplished everything, reach back and pull the next one up. Help each other. That's my thing now. Like that's what I'm doing now. And by God's grace, eventually I'll let y'all in on it. Of course I have this movie that's coming, and I want to use some of the proceeds to have a place called Emmanuel's Place. It's going to be for the homeless, the hungry, the battered, It's going to be for any and everybody that need help to come there and get what they need. And I plan to have it, and I'm playing, and I pray to God that it's in each state.
That's big. That's really big.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's big.
Huge. That's huge because we definitely don't do enough to help our homeless out. Like the homeless problem in America is terrible. It's way too bad.
And
this to be the best country in the world, we need to do better.
Exactly. And you know what saddens me the most? Most of the homeless people are veterans. Like you fought for our country, you put your life on the line, and you're homeless. Like that should not be.
Right.
It should not be. But you got people, you sending money over to different countries to help them, but you can't even help your own people here. Like, yeah, I'm not going for that.
That's real.
Well, so anybody got any more questions for Miss Tori? Show enough. I gotta say show enough because I like saying your name like that. You got a beat to it.
I do. I got one more question. Did you ever have your dream fight, or do you have a dream fight?
Yes, that's okay. Now, I'm godly, but I'm still hood. Okay,
that's wrong with that. I got a shirt on that say half hood, half home.
What? I got this cup that said, "I love God, but you can still catch these hands."
Hey, Miss Tori, it's like the song said, try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands.
You gotta say it.
I throw hands. Let the church say amen.
Amen. Yeah, I guess it might sound crazy, but you remember who I am. My very first fight and everyone after was a dream fight.
Okay.
You have to understand, like, y'all see, once the movie come out, you will see my past. I fought, okay? I didn't have patience. You got to remember, I was raised by all boys. Like, my mom was a single parent. She worked, but my brothers raised me. So all that compassionate and talking things out and girl, it's okay. I didn't have that. All I know is what you say. And I just need to make sure you said what I thought you said, and then it's going down.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. To tell the truth. Shame the devil today.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it was plenty of them days. But to get paid to fight and to not have to pay a lawyer to go to court and get me out of this trouble because somebody done ran that mouth to me. That's my dream fight. That was my dream fight.
Okay.
So have you picked the person who gonna play you in the movie yet? If not, who's your dream person who you want to play you in your movie?
I can't say, but yes, like we have two. We have two. And both are interested. And y'all going to love them. I love them myself. Yes, and they big names. Let me put it out there. They big names.
Okay, Shona. All right.
Yes.
I mean, I just need to know. The attire and the time and location
For the
so we can
premiere.
pull up there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
We
what
can
I
pull
want
up
to know.
the
How I get
premiere,
to, yeah.
Yeah, for
man.
sure.
Yes.
Get that shoulder right.
Look, make sure. I'm telling you, y'all keep following me. Keep up with me. Follow Miss Desiree Benson. She gonna have it all. Yes, she gonna put it all out there. And make
I
sure
can't wait.
October the 22nd, we in Vegas, baby. Turn it up. I get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Glory to God.
That's dope.
Glory to God.
Yeah,
See what I
that's
say?
what's up.
Being raised by them boys really helped me.
Oh man.
Well, shoot, I also want to thank you for coming on here because you could have been on any other sports network and you came on ours. Blessed us with your presence. And I ain't gonna lie, this is probably one of my favorite interviews already. I love your energy, your excitement. Whatever. So, did no disrespect to our past guests, but you definitely brought the energy, especially I didn't get to like 4:00 in the morning. So I struggled to get up this morning. So you already made my day. You know what I mean? Already. You know what I mean? Just tell everybody where to follow you at, where they can keep up with you and what you got going on. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Let me say thank you to all of y'all. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me. I'm so grateful. I really enjoyed myself. Y'all made it so easy. It's like natural, but I'm going to be me wherever. But I enjoyed y'all. I thank you. I hope you was turning up this morning that you had got in at 4:00 and you was having fun.
No, I was driving all night. Trying to get home. That's what I was doing.
You still got up to do it. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Well, hey, we gotta do this, y'all. We gotta do this properly, y'all. We got to give her a round of applause because we got a Hall of Fame on here. This is our first Hall of Fame. So we got to give her a round of applause or whatever for what she's done for her sport.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, y'all can follow me on my Facebook is Tori Nelson, or you can go to it's two. It's one is Tori Nelson or Tori Nelson, and you can follow me on Instagram as Tori Shonuff. I have a Twitter, but I can't keep up with that. That's too fast for me. It's too much. Like my mind don't work like that, so I don't even get on. So if somebody running it for me, so if you want to get on Twitter, if you're a Twitter person and you want to get on, be my guest. But it ain't me you talking to. But I look forward to y'all.
That's funny.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna go to our last break, y'all. We're gonna come back and wrap this thing up. I want to thank once again Tori Nelson for coming on this morning. You have a blessed day, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a blessed Happy Palm Sunday.
Right. Ma'am.
Yes, now I got to run and go get my clothes on for church.
That's right.
Have a blessed one.
We'll be right back at Thursday.
Right. Yes, bye.
We back here on 910 Sports. So Jacob.
Yeah, man.
This what I don't know if you heard me earlier. I got to ask you because you've been talking about this, and we said we're gonna do a whole episode on this. You
What's
know,
happening?
Adam Silver was talking about how he tired of these superstars not playing in these big games, or not playing enough games, and they trying to do certain things to try to motivate players, even though they shouldn't have motivation after making $20-30 million. So I don't know if I know you heard about it. So what's your thoughts on this?
Load management has become like the disease of high blood pressure or cancer. Load management, I think is, I don't know, bro. I think it's a major disease in the NBA now. You know, everybody body tired. Like, bro, get out of here, man. Like, these guys be young, man, under 30 years old, man, and they need to rest for 24 games. Get out of here, man. Go play a Nerf football or handball or some shit like that, man. Get out the NBA.
Well, I know they might maybe shorten the season to maybe 72 games or 68 games or something like that.
Yeah,
I know that they said that might be an option.
Yeah,
but they
wanted to put like a mid-season tournament in the middle. Instead of having like a full all-star break, you have like a mid-season type tournament like soccer does sometimes. That's what they were talking about doing, and then shortening up the number of games.
Oh man,
with that
blah 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 blah. Cry me a river, like. Bullshit.
What crazy?
This nonsense. This is nonsense, man. Cry me a river. Nonsense, man. Can't be this nonsense, man.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know because Steve, you kind of came in like we've been talking this all season, and I told him, I said, what they should do is, you know how if a doctor say you got a sprained ankle or something wrong with you, or they sit out for a game and say, oh, he's out because his ankle swollen. But in medical terms, if you have certain injuries, it'll say what your timeline is to be out 1, 2, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Yeah. I think if your coach or whatever says you got some kind of injury, then you got to sit out for that time frame. I think you got to cut all that sitting out for one game because you got a bad back injury. Cut all that out because you're gonna tell me you're gonna get over a bad back for one day, or you're gonna get over a sprained ankle in a day. I think you got to cut all that out if they make it if they discourage it from you just to come up with a fake injury to sit out a game.
That's how baseball. That's how baseball does it. They have a DL, like you go on a 60-day DL. Like you can't play for 60 days. Like there is no reevaluating you. There is no bringing you back. There's a 15-day DL. There's a 10-day DL or 5-day DL in baseball. You're gonna go on a DL for that full period of time to give you time to recover from the injury, and it also opens up a roster spot for them to bring up somebody too during that time. So yeah, I do think they probably should implement something along that nature, man. Instead, like you said, instead of letting you claim you have a soft injury or knee injury and you really just don't want to play that day, make your team suffer for 3 or 4 games. Then make him sit out for 3 or 4 games, like you said. That way it'll discourage so many of these superstars from trying to sit out, because if you go on the 15-day DL 3 times in the season, you're gonna miss 30 games. So just something along that line. I think it might regulate it. It might make the team say, "Hey, man, we can't let you sit down. We can't put you on the DL. We got to play a big game in 2 days. You don't want to play the back."
I think that's gonna be tough, though. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's
gonna be hard, right?
I get what you're saying, but I think that's gonna be tough to do, though. Especially like LeBron has a sprained ankle. I don't know if y'all saw the sprain, but
he rolled it.
It was bad. Like his whole ankle went over, maybe it touched the ground. I don't know, but it rolled all the way over. Yeah. And so, like with a sprained ankle, like it differs. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's body differs or whatever. So it's like.
Well, I mean, you never had to sit out like the whole like 3-4 weeks. But what I'm saying is, like Steve was saying, like if you have any kind of injury, then maybe you have to sit out at least a week or whatever. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, or you got to sit out a certain amount of time, just because like a minimum. It has to be some kind of minimum to kind of discourage stuff. So maybe to cut out some of these like Leonard fake injuries when he was healthy. And he would have between him and Paul George, always having these fake injuries under Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is going. He's about as bad as sit people down for a little fake injury here and there as Pop was. So I think that'll stop that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He horrible, man. He horrible.
You know what
Doc
I'm
Rivers
saying?
horrible, man.
That's why I don't see how they thought James Harden was gonna be a good fit with Doc Rivers. Because James Harden don't really he play when he kind of want to, in my opinion. And I think James Harden, the type of coach that Doc Rivers is, I just don't him James Harden.
When you say play when he wants to, what do you mean? As in being on the floor?
Oh, no,
Like
James be on the floor. I don't really think James do the load management, but he just get in the game and he's not
okay. Because he having a little bad stretch too.
Yeah, he in the strip club, but he's in the strip club every night. They show him on
Yeah, because all he needs is his wrist to like cost money. No, that's all he's talking.
You can't be having bad games and then be in Philadelphia in the strip club. Like they telling him, bro, that ain't working. You can't do this. This is not Houston. These folks care in Philly. Somebody gonna run up on you. So, I don't think he gonna last in Philadelphia, man. That's just me.
Well, I heard Colin Cowherd say that basically he was talking about James Harden. He think James Harden is one of those players he like playing basketball. He actually loves it, but he don't want all the stuff that come with it, like all the pressure of trying to win. He don't really want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when those times come, he have to show up and show out. It's not in him to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not in him that he don't have that killer instinct that a superstar is supposed to have in those moments to play big in big games. Even in some of the games when he went back to play against the Nets, he put up a dud. And when he would play against certain other superstars in the league, he would put up duds. You know what I'm saying? It's like he almost like he gets afraid of those moments and play big in those moments. So that's gonna be and then Joel Embiid is one of those type of superstars that's gonna speak his mind, and Joel Embiid gonna eventually call him out, especially next year if he don't tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid definitely gonna call him out. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see how that's gonna work long term no more. And I see Ben Simmons staying with Philly. Playing with Brooklyn because it's like a hot mess. I think they're gonna have to trade him before he can get on the court. I just don't see him. You know what I'm saying?
Boy. Listen, man. I'm so glad that we're gonna have a segment on this load management. I've been patiently waiting to talk about this low, broke down ass management. You know what I mean? I've been waiting to talk about that. Cause these dudes, they be just missing games, bro. And they don't miss like 10 games, bro. They've been missing 40, 65, 75 games, man. But you getting paid over $100 million. What?
Fully guaranteed, too.
Yeah, man.
John Wall ain't played. When last time John Wall played?
Man, the last time I seen John Wall play is probably, man, when the last time you seen a cow jump the moon.
Oh my!
Shit.
So I'm just saying that, and he's still getting checks. Those checks come every Tuesday. So
he said come every Tuesday.
Yeah, pro players get paid on Tuesday. Every Tuesday they get paid.
I thought they get paid twice a month. They get paid every week.
Well, I know in the NBA, the boy get paid every Tuesday.
Oh wow!
There's so many games, and they play 3 games a week, 4 games a week, and they come in. Yeah.
I thought they got paid on the 1st and the 15th. Thought they like government check. I thought they got paid on the 1st and 15th. I know they got paid every week.
I know baseball is every other week because I've seen a deposit when I worked at our Devil's Bank, and yeah, look at Steve. But no, they get paid every other week. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to baseball.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, so definitely Wednesday night. We're gonna have to break this thing all the way down or whatever, because it's just, and then by that time too, we have all the tree, the NBA playoff tree set. So we'll really know. No, because
it'll be set after tonight. I think the last game is this evening. It'll be who did they say playing? Milwaukee and Cleveland, I think, are the last game. So they'll know.
I stopped watching. I ain't really been watching like the last 2-3 games, and I'm like, man, I ain't about to watch them jokers running down the court trying not to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for the real deal.
Milwaukee won that New York the other day. Milwaukee and New York. Game.
Well, Milwaukee and Phoenix is the two teams that play hard every night. I will give that to Milwaukee and Phoenix. Because I was looking the other night, like Phoenix they played Chris Paul and Devin Booker like 40 minutes the other night. I'm like, what the hell is going on over there? Like, they need to go now. They need to sit down. Chris Paul needs to sit down somewhere because he'll hand bump away on his car door from breaking his hand again. You know what I'm saying? So he need to go and sit down somewhere. They need to bubble wrap Chris Paul into the playoffs.
They got their 63 wins. They made them.
Oh, they did get 63?
64. Oh, I think they got 63 against the Lakers, I think. Which knocked them out or whatever. Yeah. So he can sit. You're right. He can go ahead and sit before he get injured.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, because I don't know if I really count the play-in. I just want to see how it's going to be set up. But I don't really – I mean, I'm going to watch the games. Don't get me wrong. But I don't really count that part of the playoffs. Yeah, I don't really like the play-in tournament because I'm like, how the hell a 9 and a 10th seed even get a chance to be in the tournament? I don't even get that part. You know what I mean? I get it. They did it for the shortened season. But in this long season, like really the Lakers, even if let's just say the Lakers would have found a way to get the 10th seed, their record would have been like 35 and 47. Like, it would have been like, really a 35-win team in the tournament? Come on, now stop playing.
You know, the teams on the East.
Back in the 90s, in the 90s, they had Jordan had those records.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I get it because it makes things more exciting until the end of it. Like you said, all these games came down to the final game of the season, so it do motivate teams to play harder all the way to the end. But I just don't know if let's just say, and like they said, like let's say something like the Nets. The Nets fought to the end, and then you're gonna end up having Milwaukee and Brooklyn probably in the first round. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, man, that's an Eastern Conference final run. That ain't no.
Well, it could.
Yeah, but it's a great first one to watch, though. But it's a great first round to watch too.
Yeah,
if you watch basketball, you gonna watch it. You gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna watch it.
That 7, 8, 9, 10. Play in, it just like you said gives the excitement because now as an Atlanta fan, I'm sitting like, damn, we can finish 7th today or we can finish 10th today. So it's like, damn, I got to watch 3 games just to see how it's gonna shake out for my team. Yeah. So you got Charlotte, Atlanta, Brooklyn, you got 4 Cleveland, you got 4 fan bases that are.
What is Charlotte rank? Because I'm about to go see.
They tied with us. They got the same record we got. We just on the tiebreaker over them.
But they about to play the Wizards.
Yeah, they play the Wizards.
I'm about to go see them at 3:30. Yeah,
we play. The Nets play the net. All of us play today. Everybody play today, so it can all go up and down. Like if the Nets lose, they can drop down to 10.
Who the Nets play?
I got me look it up and see. It's a couple games there. I know we play Houston. Okay. Atlanta play Houston. Hold on. Milwaukee play Cleveland. Cleveland right now is in the 8th place. So Brooklyn is 7, Cleveland is 8, we are 9, and Charlotte is 10.
Oh, they play the Pacers. Nets gonna win today. They play the Pacers. That's a W.
Yeah, that's a W. Yeah.
But the anyway, man.
So now they don't play Kyrie or play KD because they said they don't care where they go. It don't matter to them. They just want to play ball.
Oh, they're not playing.
So if they don't play because they don't care about seeding, they feel like they're gonna come out to play in and then go on to win their first round.
At this point, it don't really. Yeah, but anyway, man, it was a great show. Once again, Tori showing up, Sutherland's on here. I think that was our first Hall of Famer, right, Crystal? As far as I remember, I think that's our first Hall of Famer in the 33 episodes we done had. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very happy that she came on this morning. Or whatever. So we be back here Wednesday night. 910 Sports Reloaded. Well, I actually think we might need to keep on StreamYard because it was like a different type of energy last week we did StreamYard. On that Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What you think Crystal had it look like? She got the nose turned up, everything.
I'm gonna do whatever the y'all do, but man, I just be getting off work. I don't be wanting to be on camera, but I'm just saying. I get off work 9 o'clock at night.
You got to come on camera. You can have your volume on. Okay. You can have your volume on. That's cool. We ain't tripping. Yeah. So anyway, because Steve, KB was mainly on camera. I mean, mainly
audio.
on camera most of the night, Wednesday night.
I ain't even gonna attempt to get on with all the stuff that be going on in the house. That's a straight put the phone on my shoulder and talk.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But anyway, man. Hey, I tried to we'll talk with you. Y'all stay on for 2 seconds when we drop off. I gotta talk to y'all about something. But anyway, so it was a great show, man. So once again, my man Steve-O, Crystal, KB. I know Jacob probably had to get off. So, great show, man. See y'all Wednesday night, man. It's your boy Icon here on 910 Sports. See y'all next time. Be blessed.